So we've made it to the round of 16. It's been one heck of a World Cup. If you're a fan of football, there's no doubt that this World Cup has provided you with everything you could want: excitement, emotion, drama, absolute heartbreak, disappointment, every kind of emotion that you can think of. This World Cup has embodied that so far. Brazil, of course, are feeling tremendous heartbreak, as are Mexico. Their World Cup is over. They go home empty-handed. Mexico, in their home, allow England to leave. And Mexico just has to continue to watch, if they choose, the rest of the World Cup there in Mexico. Just the way it is in the World Cup. So as it stands, France will play Morocco in the quarterfinals, since France defeated Paraguay in the round of 16. Morocco defeated Canada, which meant that they would face France. And that's what's going to happen in the quarterfinals. We'll have a France-Morocco quarterfinal in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Yet to happen, which is highly anticipated, is the match between Portugal and Spain. It's a tough one to call. We're going to say Spain's going to pull it out. They look like a more complete team this cup, this tournament. But to be honest, both teams haven't really done what many of them thought they would do. But yeah, we think Spain will take that one, unfortunately, for all of Portugal. But we were wrong before. Probably going to be wrong again, but we'll see. And of course, our United States of America against Belgium. If you don't know, one of the biggest controversies now surrounding the World Cup and FIFA in general is that Balogun is no longer suspended. If you know, in the previous game, there was a red card called on him for a challenge, and he was sent off. Presumably so, gonna miss this match against Belgium. Somehow, before the match, before even this round of 16 matches today, it was announced that he is indeed going to play and that his suspension has been lifted, revoked. All sorts of controversy around this issue. Wonder, what do you think about it? What are your thoughts on these things? If you're a Belgian fan, you probably think it's completely unfair. If you're an American, like we are, you think that's great. Do we care about how it happened? Not really. Some are saying that the president of the United States of America, you know who I'm talking about, went and spoke with the president of FIFA, and suddenly Balogun is ready to go. So that's what's happening in that situation. Now, as Americans, we do hope that the U.S. will, of course, defeat Belgium, and it's possible given that the team is showing a lot of promise. But if you just consider just pure pedigree, pure just experience, you would say that Belgium would probably take this match on to the quarterfinal. But anything is possible. So let's see. We're pulling for the U.S., of course. Brazil loses to Norway in a shocker. Actually, not that shocked, to be honest. If you know, you know that Brazil hasn't been looking like a team that, well, would advance much further than this. And Norway showed them why. Norway just, especially Haaland. And I guess if you know, you know about Gabriel. Gabriel just, I don't know. He has a soft spot for Haaland. I'm not sure what, but Haaland just destroyed Gabriel in that regard, if you want to consider one-on-one. And if you look at the two goal scoring opportunities, it's exactly that. So Norway is looking quite strong, and they will be facing the winner of today's last match, final match between England and Mexico. And England defeats Mexico, will face Norway. So we got a European dominated World Cup tournament right now. All the European nations are in there. In the round of 16, we still have Argentina versus Egypt to go. And we believe that Argentina should pull this one off. However, if you saw the last match between Argentina and Cape Verde, you'll say like, whoa, wait a minute, not sure about this. I'm not sure if I'm too confident that Argentina can go any further. It's a good position to take. But we do think in the end that Argentina will come off of that situation and defeat Egypt to advance to the quarterfinal. And in the round of 16, we got Switzerland versus Colombia. This is a tough one to call, but I think since we turned our back on Switzerland in the last match against Algeria, we're going to say that probably Switzerland will come out on top against Colombia to advance into the quarterfinal. So, what do you all think? What are your thoughts and opinions? We'd love to know. Please, if you are so inclined, share. Speak freely. Type freely in the chat. Chat away. We welcome it. We love to hear your thoughts on the World Cup. Of course, we're using FC Mobile to help us navigate through this World Cup. It is phase 2 of the World's Game season. It's season 18. If you're wondering about all of these things, these little details, it is season 18 and it ends in 24 days. It is called the World's Game. It's phase 2 of the World's Game. And of course, many people in the universe of FC Mobile are using, national teams to represent who they are in the game, as we've always done. We don't support any one club, so we couldn't choose one, but we could choose one nation to represent, and that's the US of A, our lovely nation. So we've always represented, if you know that we've always represented the USA, always. And we're happy to do it because, well, that's where we come from. We've played some matches offline to help us advance through division rivals. Again, if you're wondering why, it's pretty simple. Because number one, we don't have the top quality devices that are necessary to, avoid any kind of problems within the game. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure even if we did have the most top quality devices, these things would still happen. Anyway, so we don't do it on stream. Because again, as we've discussed before, we'll say it again, our competitive nature doesn't allow us to just sacrifice, matches for the sake of stream. We can stream something else. And by the time that we do reach our desired goal, we will then, after that, stream. But for the moment, we're just going to stream the replays from those matches that help us to get to where we want to go, which is always FC champion. And it's a tough road, we must say. If you know, you know. And we've said this before also, when you're trying to advance in the first week of a launch in a new season, it is quite difficult, simply because you're stacked up against all the top competition. All the top competitors are then reset down to a different level, and it's game on from there. So that's why you're going to see, or you can see, that there are some people with tremendous amount of stars already. And you might say, do these people have a life? And it's like, well, I guess their life is this game. Their life is playing this game. So, if you know, you know. This game, for some people, is more than just something to do. It's what they do. And we respect that. We understand that. We can understand that. It's not something complicated. As gamers, because you have to understand that we're gamers, not saying that we're the best gamers. That's one thing we want to make clear, is that here at HELLARICHSF, we're not claiming ever to be the best at anything. We're just claiming to try our best and have fun doing it. Do it with some style. Do it with some knowledge, and have fun. That's kind of the way that we see it. So that's how we approach gaming. And I know that in the gaming community, it's kind of a mixed bag, and most people are just, I guess you can say glory hunting, and not necessarily understanding what it takes to, achieve something within the video game realm. But hopefully the channel will bring that to you somehow. Here's a free kick from Messi that we scored. People think that scoring free kicks is easy. It isn't. Especially at this angle here, you think, oh, that's just easy. You just swipe straight, right? And it's like, no, actually, you don't just swipe straight up. It's a different technique. Yeah. Oh, what's the technique? Tell me the technique. Okay, so you swipe right to the far post and back to the near post as fast as possible. What? Yeah, you heard me. From that position, given also that we know Messi, we know that he has a left foot. So you have to take in consideration what foot, who is the penalty taker, or sorry, not the penalty, who is the free kick taker, and all these things. And since we know our team very well, and we know who we appoint for these things, and we've practiced with Messi because, well, whenever it comes up, he's there to do it. Now, there are some occasions where it's the deeper free kick, and it'll be someone else. But if we decide to put Messi into both of those scenarios, we could. Any such rate, as I said, if you're at the near post, you're taking a free kick, and your kicker is left-footed, or even if he's right-footed, you swipe to the right, then swipe to the left. This is all within the area of where the goal is, right? You're not swiping outside of it. You have to make sure like you're swiping within, like a Z, if you will. And then it'll hit this straight shot. And it's worked for us. Anyway, we've noticed that the game is extremely difficult to play because like something simple like pass. You think, okay, I'm going to pass. And you're like, I press pass, right? And you look down and you're like, I'm pressing pass. Why is my guy still not passing? And it's just, it's something that can either drive you mad or you find a way to overcome it. And we have just found a way to overcome it. And again, only reason why we don't do it while streaming is because it'll make it even more difficult. So if any of you out there are like, no, I have no hard time whatsoever playing this game. It's it's seamless. It's effortless. Everything is just, Picasso. It's like, okay, we'd like to know, but we doubt that that's the case. Although it seems that the opposition has a wonderful time against us on some occasions, it turns out that we believe that everyone goes through these things. And you're like, well, how are you scoring these goals then? Well, it's like, having to grind through the match leads us to scoring opportunities and making sure that we make the most of those scoring opportunities. And it really, I must say, you must really know your players very well at each position. And if you don't, it's gonna, you're gonna leaving it up to chance because the competitors out there, the rivals, they're fierce. They're fierce. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't know where you are all located in the progress of division rivals. We are at legendary, inching our way to FC champion. But it's difficult, but we like the challenge and we like to share with you our journey. And if you appreciate it, that's great. We appreciate you for appreciating our art, our craft. This is what it is. This is our art, right? Like wondering what is art? We think this is art. The way that we are able to score a goal, how we play the game, all of it, we believe is an art, and it's our expression here on YouTube. And we thank YouTube for giving people like us the opportunity to share and display our love for the game that is football, the game that is FC Mobile, during a time that is the World Cup. We think it's amazing in the year 2026 that we're able to do this and share with the rest of the world. So if you're out there listening, watching, we appreciate you. So if you're wondering, how can one access these replays? So we'll try to address things in a way that's very neutral. That means it'll be balanced. And in some cases, some people don't understand how it is that you're able to watch a replay of your match that you had. The number one thing is you have to be in a league. If you're not in a league, you will not be able to access the replay. Of course, you can make your own replay by screen grabbing your match live as you're doing it, and then you'll have that file. But if you don't do that, you can, at the end of most ranked matches, it will say share with league at the bottom left. So more often than not, especially if we win, sometimes if we lose, we will share if we feel like it's worthy, but not always. Sorry. Don't like to look back at your losses, but in some case you probably should. If you're a student of the game that really wants to improve, I think most people would say, yeah, you should look at the losses. But hey, we don't. It hurts our ego too much to see. And we're okay with that. It's just video games at the end of the day, and it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, that is how you are able to access replays. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Right. So so again, here's the free kick from Messi. You can see we're located at the near post. And so we swipe at the far post and then swipe back to the near post in order to achieve this shot here. It's the only way that we've managed to do it consistently. I'm sure maybe you might know other ways, but this is the way that we were able to do it consistently. Because we've tried other ways and it hasn't been as consistent as this way. So with that being said, that was a goal from Messi at the 8th minute. Maradona breaks free here. The defense, I guess they just really, this is what you should do on defense is, yeah, let something like this happen. He just cuts through both defenders and we're able to utilize that space and attack. That's one thing. Like for example, in Brazil's game today, The opportunity they had, Brazil could have easily won that match today, or at least been. I think if they would have scored where they should have, it would have been a completely different game. And since they didn't, it left opportunity wide open for Netherlands, Norway. So my point is, when you have that opportunity, like Bruno G had in that penalty, like Endrick had on that breakaway, you gotta be able to seal the deal. And they weren't able to seal the deal on those two occasions, and it cost them dearly. And on top of it all, when you give the other team opportunities, like Gabriel gave on two occasions opportunities to Holland, Holland took advantage of that. And Holland's been doing that for a while to Gabriel now. So, yeah. Here's another goal by Messi, and here another early and very it's a risky move to make. As you see, Nesta goes to the slide tackle there. Nesta's a great defender. He's able to get back up again. But just given that a little bit of space and Messi doing the roulette there, it was enough to get this shot off. And David Raya almost was able to block it out of the way, but there's too much pace on the ball and it's Messi. So we were able to defeat this team 3-0 to help us advance further in division rivals. So you're just tuning in. You're wondering, what is this about? Round of 16 World Cup 2026 FC Mobile. That's right. We discuss the round of 16. We discuss the World Cup 2026. And we discuss FC Mobile. Imagine that. And we have the game of football to thank for it. We're very thankful for the game of football and for FC Mobile and for the World Cup. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful occasion, and we're delighted to be able to be a part of it and to bring our own kind of, I'm not sure how unique it is, probably not that unique. I mean, what we're saying is unique. No one else is saying what we're saying, how we're saying it at the moment that we're saying it. So that's unique enough. And we're happy with that. We're more than happy to be able to bring to the world via YouTube live stream our take on this lovely sport and this wonderful game. Yeah, that's right. So let's take a look again at the round of 16 as it sits currently. Once again, England has defeated Mexico. We must say England did show heart and determination. And I think it's something that they never were missing that. It's just that I guess how they were being managed didn't allow them to fully play the way they needed to play on the pitch. I think this time around, their manager, I forget his name, Tuchel, whatever, really has faith in them, and they have faith in him. Yes, what's up? What's up, darling? What's up, darling? You okay? You okay? Huh? Okay. And that gives them the strength to pull through adversity. They were down a man for a while. And they never wavered in their commitment to doing what's necessary to win this match. And and I must applaud them for that. They look quite strong. I didn't know what to expect. I knew that going into Mexico, playing in Mexico City, was going to be hard for them, but it didn't seem to phase them at all. If anything, it gave them the power that they needed. Mexico didn't really use it to their advantage. I think they played below the standard. They were a bit disappointing compared to how they were playing before. But hey, that's how it is in the World Cup. Norway looks incredibly strong, and made Brazil feel completely inadequate, which, if you watch the match, you would say to yourself, yeah, they are inadequate. It's disappointing for sure, especially if you're a supporter of Brazil. You know, we support so many teams. You know, of course, we want Brazil to win that match, but we were not upset that Norway won, because the way that Norway did it was just like, again, just pure determination and pure just, oh, what's the matter? What's the matter, sweetie? Hmm? What's the problem? What's the problem, huh? What's the problem, sweetheart? Huh, you all right? Yeah, Brazil just couldn't keep up with the level of intensity that Norway had from the beginning to the end. And yeah, the opportunities that Brazil, they had plenty of opportunities to win. They didn't capitalize on them. And that's the difference. Again, sometimes it comes down to that. It's those chances that you get. If you don't capitalize, they might not come by again. And that's what happened with Brazil. So let's recap. So tomorrow there will be 3 games before we continue here. Okay, so Wednesday, we'll start with this game first, the Wednesday game, which will be the finale of the round of 16 between Switzerland and Colombia. We've seen now both teams play up to this point, and we believe strongly that Switzerland is well deserving of advancing through. Colombia is not that they're not well deserving, it's just that there's something missing there, and it was really evident in their last match that they had. Who'd they go against? Against Ghana. Yeah. We saw that, yeah, it just wasn't a dominating performance. Not that, I mean, I guess they pulled out by the skin of their teeth, I guess you could say. It was barely something to consider. So we believe that Switzerland are going to end up defeating Colombia on Wednesday to advance further in the cup. Now, tomorrow's matches: Spain, Portugal, Spain. Tough one to call, right? If you've been watching Portugal, you're wondering what's going on with that team, especially in the midfield. How is it that the trio of Bruno Fernandes, Raul Neves, Vitinha, they seem disjointed or something? And yeah, like, Ronaldo, there's so much controversy around him. A lot of the commentators are just like saying things like, oh, will the manager be brave enough to take him out because he's really doing nothing? But in actuality, he's doing what he can. When he gets chances, he's doing what he can, and He's scoring when he can. It's just the rest of the team, they seem a bit disjointed, not just the midfield. Um, so, in defense, I think it's just this World Cup is tough. It's really difficult, extremely. And some teams are making it look easy, upsetting big names, but it's not easy. It's not at all. So even deciding who's going to win is not easy. But we believe that Spain, because of how they've been performing in this cup so far, we would say that they have a slight edge over Portugal. So we believe that Spain will win against Portugal. Argentina and Egypt. We think that after Argentina's scare, and that was a real scare against Cape Verde, that they're going to come back against Egypt and are going to prove why they're not going to allow something like that to happen to them again. Now, again, we could be wrong. We've been wrong before. It's fine. We're just making our educated guess based upon what we've seen, because we've tried to capture most of these matches in the world, especially any match worth watching. And to be honest, most matches are worth watching, especially at this stage. So we don't think Egypt will be able to replicate what Cape Verde did. But if they are, we're not even sure that it's going to work, because we feel that Argentina is going to recalibrate and look at that situation to see how it can be avoided. So that's why we think that Argentina has a slight edge in that regard. And one of the most controversial matches coming up will be this United States and Belgium match, specifically because of the reversed suspension on the American player, Florian Balogun. Hey, yo, what's that noise, little dinosaur? You little dinosaur, you little tiger? Huh? You little tiger? Huh? You little tiger? Come on. Despite that, we feel that the U.S. has the momentum and the capability to defeat Belgium. It's just that because of Belgium's pedigree and their experience in tournaments in past, we think that they might have the slight edge over the United States. But because we are American and we support the U.S. in this tournament, we feel that we have to go with the U.S., right? We just have to. We can't go against our home team. So that's why we were picking the United States to win against Belgium. So that is the round of 16. Some quarterfinal matches are already determined. For example, France versus Morocco. And if you watch this match between Paraguay and France, you saw some dirty football being played by Paraguay. And some people are calling it a controversy also, how they were allowed to just play that way. Some say it's whatever, that they're just Paraguay just playing hard. In my honest opinion, I mean, I can appreciate a tough fought football match, but in this case, Paraguay was just taking it too far. Like, for example, and you don't want to even call it mind games. It's much as just like annoyances, right? You're like just being completely annoying for the sake of not being able to create any chances for themselves. And I must say, France, they kept their composure. They tried their best not to allow that kind of behavior to dictate the game, but somehow it did because it just continued. It didn't stop. And it's because some say the FIFA referees were not doing their part. They weren't calling things that should be called. They were letting things go, just giving free reign to Paraguay to basically just manhandle, and not even in a fair way, in just like a dirty way, um, the French opposition. Um, and we thought that if you play that kind of football, like I wouldn't be a fan of it. Even if I was on the pitch and some other the rivals were doing this, I would I would not be down with that. So any such case, France was able to pull off a win um, with an Mbappe penalty, and it was the only goal of the whole game. But France ended up winning. Um, we didn't see this Canada and Morocco match, but from the looks of it, Canada couldn't couldn't handle Morocco. Thus, the score of 3-0, which goes to show that Morocco is very strong and has a lot of potential to create some problems for France. But we still think in the end, even though this is kind of jumping the gun a bit because this is not a stream about the quarterfinal, because the next stage after. Okay, what's the problem? You're just moaning and groaning? You can go play and moan and groan when you're playing. Um, yeah, the quarterfinals after the round of 16. So, and that's, because there've already been round of 16 matches that happened. Speaking of Paraguay, France, and Canada, Morocco, who will face each other. So that's going to be happening sooner than you think. So, questions for you all out there. What are your opinions on this World Cup? Are you happy with what you've been seeing so far? Have you been let down, disappointed? What's going on? Let us know in the chat if you are able. We would love to hear what you have to say. All right, let's switch our attention to FC Mobile. And here you see, again, this is where the crossover happens, where the worlds collide between the real world, which is the World Cup world, versus the world of EA Sports FC Mobile, that you're able to choose teams, national teams that are in the World Cup. And we're facing a team here that's also showing their support by using the Team USA, which is fine. It's great. But we thought to ourselves, okay, we're going to prove who's the best, right? And here we are trying to prove that. And again, just to be clear, we're not claiming to be the best at this game. We're not claiming to be the best at gaming, at streaming, at YouTube. We just claim that we try our best. That's what we're claiming. We try our best to do it all, right? And it's something that we enjoy doing, and that brings us a feeling of happiness to be able to share with you all out here in the world, in the internet, on YouTube. But one thing, if we were trying to be honest about what's happening in the FC Mobile world simultaneously with the World Cup 2026, yes, they're updating on a daily basis different player cards. And at this point, it feels completely overwhelming. Much like that Dembele that it feels like it's being given away for free, which is not. But the Dembele card, that the striker Dembele card that a lot of people are using, we don't have it. And not that we wouldn't mind having, of course, we would love to have that card. It's just that we don't have it. The play styles, it's crazy trying to keep up. And yeah, even if you are a pay to win type of player, that means you have all the money in the world to burn in this game. You'll buy as many packs as it takes to get the card that you want. And you don't care if in the end the bill shows, oh, you've spent 10,000 US dollars. That's fine. I got the players I wanted. We would never take that approach, as we are free to play gamers. And I guess this kind of dichotomy, these two worlds of free to play, pay to win, are very, very prevalent in the gaming world these days. And yeah, if you're trying to be competitive, you think to yourself, well, I guess I have to be pay to win because all my competitors are pay to win. And even though it gives me satisfaction to be able to beat those kind of players that are pay to win, being that I am not pay to win, I am free to play. But in the end, it's very, very difficult, especially when the game itself seems to be designed to give the most advantage to the person, to the player, to the gamer, to the team that is pay to win. Let's just be honest. So when we share these replays, we believe most of the time that we're facing opponents that the case is that they are pay to win type of players. So we feel some sense of pride when we're able to use our free to play team and defeat those people. It doesn't always happen, but it happens enough for us to advance through division rivals, ranked division rivals, to reach the level of FC champion, as it is always our goal every season. And this season, it is no different. So we ask you the same. Are you the same kind of gamer? Are you a free to play gamer? Are you pay to win? What is your approach to gaming in that regard? We'd love to know. So we were able to defeat this team 2-0 to show that we're the best U.S. team. Our first goal was with Cruyff, and we're really happy with this card. At first, we were not that happy with it, and then the more and more that we were able to use it, the more we are growing to just be so thankful for it. Which again is like, oh, would you give up your Cruyff for that Dembele card? And it's like, well, yeah, but at the end of the day, we don't have that Dembele card. We have this card. He's our striker, and we're quite happy with him, with how he's performing. So that's Cruyff with the first goal. Same with this Pirlo at midfield. We're quite happy with him as well. Plays great defense, is great when it comes to scoring, having the ball. You can rely on Pirlo to do everything that's needed on the pitch. He's not the fastest, that's for sure, but he has everything in the most balanced way. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to give you what you need from a midfielder. If you're tuning in, thank you. We appreciate you extremely. We know it's not easy to be on your device, your computer, however it is that you're happening to watch us right now, but we appreciate you nonetheless. We are very appreciative of our subscribers, our viewers, especially appreciative of the people in our league who've helped build our league to what it is. It's true. Maybe you don't know, maybe you do know. There are many different leagues out there, and you could join any league that you want, but the members of our league decided to join our league, and for that we are extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. Stand by. Yeah, so we started this league last year on the 9th of January in 2025. It's been a year and a half since we've had the league. Yes? You okay? Mm-hmm. I know. Uh-huh. Are you hungry? You feel hungry, huh? You sure? You want to play some more or what? What do you think? Can you wait a little bit longer or you want to eat now? Hmm? Okay. So yeah, we're quite happy. But again, depending on who you are, for example, if you look at the leaderboards here, and if you're wondering how to access these pieces of information, these parts of the game, you have to be part of a league. You have to have joined a league or to access what you're seeing right now. And since we are founders of a league and members of our own league, we're able to see these things. So we're going to see what interests us right now is who is the top league. And this and these leagues at the top 3 here usually are always here, always. This Chinese league, which we're not sure what the name is. I know, right? It's fine. Okay. And then, what's up? So you are hungry. You are hungry. Right? Or what? Normally when you're hungry, you make a bit more noise than this, and you're not smiling playing with your toy. So what's up? Okay. Anyway, we'll take a look at this player here actually. 50 stars in. Okay, so these are the kind of teams that are okay, let's just say in a very broad statement, these are the type of teams that exist right now in the game. So if you are any kind of player who plays division rivals, which would be verse attack, head to head, or manager mode, these are the kind of teams that are out there competing for the crown, for the throne. All right. Now, one thing we'll say, and we're happy that we can do this, is that there's an option in the settings where you can turn off the badge that pops up for these play styles things, right? And we gladly turned it off. And it's really helped us because we believe that the badges is not so much that the player has a badge as much as it was that the badge popped up just randomly, right? Randomly while you're playing. And we thought that is really annoying. Like, why are you doing that? So we were happy to see that you can turn that off, right? I guess we can show you after this. So you can see that this team here, every single player has a play style badge. So that means that if you haven't turned that off in your settings, that there will be play style badges popping up every which way. And you're like, I don't care. I don't mind because my team is just like this team. It's a 128 OVR, and I got playstyle badges all over the place also. And I don't mind. Okay. Well, we did mind. And that's one thing that we're happy, extremely happy, that EA Sports FC Mobile gave the option to turn off that whole animation, whatever you want to call it, where the badge popped up. All right. So that's great, right? We can see that this team here is an absolute powerhouse. Questionable is having Neymar playing central attacking midfielder, although I'm sure he can do that. As much as we love Neymar, we don't think that he's the best choice for that. He'd be better at left wing for sure. But yeah, he can play cam and he can play striker, but we don't think he's that good of a cam. But we don't know. We don't have this card, but this person does. Would we like to have this card? Absolutely, of course, but we don't have this card. Absolutely, of course, but we don't have this card. So we gotta just like say okay. But looking at this card now, you can see it's pretty well balanced everywhere. 2 preferred 5-star feet. Everything is in the 200 except passing and except physical, and definitely not defending. Anyway, that's just one of the cards this person has on their team. And again, I ask you, how does your team stack up against this team? 125 left wing Mbappe, 124 right wing playing striker Messi, 125 right wing Olise, 125 center midfielder Bruno Fernandes, 125 left winger playing cam Neymar Jr., 125 center midfielder Ruud Gullit, 124 left back DeMarco, 123 center back Gabriel. Just because of the way Gabriel plays in real life, we're not saying he's terrible. He's a great center back, but because of the things that he does that we've seen, like missed penalty kick in Champions League final, like allow Haaland to walk all over him twice in this round of 16 match in the World Cup, we just can't justify ever seeking him out. Now, if we just happen to land his card, like if we open his pack, okay, but about seeking him out, it's not going to happen. Company 125 center back, that card we would seek out. 125 right back Cafu, 125 goalkeeper Van de Sar. This is, you would say, a flawless team, except again, why having Neymar at cam is the questionable bit. But hey, that's how he wants to run it, and it is what it is. Now, if we look closer at this person's account, though, you're like, how can it be at that level, but their level of verse attack and head-to-head is not as high as it should be, right? But what is high is their manager mode. So some people, you might think manager mode's a joke. Some people don't think manager mode is a joke at all. They think manager mode is way more than a joke. Take a look at this guy. So similar team with a different formation, with Messi playing center attacking midfielder, Neymar playing the left wing, Mbappe at striker. That DeMarco is there at left back, the Cafu at right back, Rijkaard, CDM playing center back, Company, Bendisar, Lautaro Mateos. Like, again, can your team compete against this team? I mean, we have a 122 OVR, right? We're trying to get 123, but it's just not happening. We have a 122 OVR, and we're not willing to do any which thing to get it. Like, we're like, oh, you should clear your bench. If you clear your bench, you get to 123. But we know that in order to have the most complete team, it needs to be complete, and that means your bench needs to be complete too. So let's see if we can. It defaults to 121. Okay, that's not right. Okay. That's 122. Yeah, it seemed that there's no way to make it go higher. It's fine. This is our team, right? So we don't have a single player except, sorry, we have Olise, which that, so then there are the play style that we do have. We think, well, that's a useless play style about the passing one. It's like, it's even worse when you see when we did have the animation and it did pop up, and then the pass that he completed, I mean, was attempting to complete, was not complete. It was intercepted. It was like, what's the point? So, there's a lot of memes, if you will, videos out there on TikTok and YouTube, like just poking fun at the whole idea of this playstyles thing. And we do agree, it's a big joke, really. And people thought that people have a tier list, and they think that this play style, this tiki taka, I think it's called, yeah, is an absolute joke, right? Absolute joke of a play style. And we agree completely. But yeah, what can we say? So if you were wondering, you're like, well, tell me about how you turn that off, the play styles thing. So if you didn't know that when your player or another player on an opposing team has a play style, during the game, at whatever moment, it'll pop up. And for us, it was very distracting. To be honest, it was distracting and annoying. So we thought, that's silly. We don't want to see that shit anymore. So we thought, well, I wonder if there's a way to turn it off. And it just so happened that if you go to the gear, to your settings, to gameplay, if you scroll all the way down there, so it goes contextual, strafe, dribble, my playstyles icon, opponent's playstyles icon. You can turn those off. So if they're not in the green, they're turned off. We've turned them off. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. If it doesn't bother you, if you're like, no, I love to see that. If it makes you feel happy to see it, it makes you feel happy to see that? Huh? It makes you happy to see those play styles? Really? No, that's what is annoying. So we turned it off. Oh, you little tiger. You little tiger? Huh? You little tiger? Oh. You're a lion or a tiger? You doing your lion impression? Okay, go play lion then. Go play lion. Go play lion. Oh. Oh, you don't want to play lion. You just want to mess around with something else. Huh? All right. So, yeah. I don't know. How are you been doing trying to advance in division rivals? Is that even something that you consider? This time around, right now, it's kind of our main thing. And as we said again, we don't do our advancement through division rivals while live streaming because it compromises the stream, it compromises the gameplay, and we're just not willing to put in all the effort knowing that it's going to be a compromised situation. So we apologize if that is what you want to see. We do and we will show replays of matches that led up to our ultimate goal of reaching FC champion in head to head because they are the only matches that can be shared. And again, how do you share them? You need to have joined a league. You need to have been playing a ranked head to head match. Once you have completed that match, you're given the option to share it. So we always do. We always try to do that because it makes us happy to have it. It makes us happy to share it. And that is pretty much the reasoning behind it. Let's look at another match. We do notice that there are some matches where basically it's a system bot, pretty much. And it's not that it's completely easy to win, because as you know, the system bots that EA produces can be quite strong. And we don't even know until I guess, when can we tell? I guess you can tell right away by seeing the squad. You're like, oh, okay, this squad's it has, some random players in there that they're not ranked up all the way, whatever. So there's some tells, but most of the time you are being what you think matched up against another human player. And in this case, we are matched up against this team called 200, and they're using Liverpool. How about you all? What are you using for your team? What kits do you use? All those things that you can customize within the game. We've been seeing a lot of Manchester United for some reason. Even though it's World Cup time, we expect to see a lot of national teams. Instead, we're seeing a lot of Manchester United. Where we are located in the world, I mean, I guess anywhere in the world, really, Manchester United is one of the most revered and supported teams in the world. Stand by.
Primeros 45 minutos y ambos equipos se van ya a los vestuarios. Es el turno del Liverpool, todo preparado para que los Reds pongan el balón a rodar. Esto no ha terminado. Saca el Liverpool de centro y veremos qué hace a partir de ahora para intentarlo. La bola es para Pirlo. Sigue con la pelota, puede haber peligro. ¡Ojo que le puede pegar! ¡Adentro! ¡Ventajas ya de 2 tantos!
Eso, repetid el gol. Aquí lo tenemos, tremenda jugada individual. Se subió a la moto, la aceleró sin mirar atrás, zafándose de todo Kiski. Luego levantó la cabeza y la colocó en el fondo de las mallas para flipar el gol.
Zico. Wesley Sneijder. Tiene la pelota Steven Gerrard. Best. La lleva Gerrard. Juega Mbappé. Manda por encima del larguero. Hacia el córner en corto. Best. Ese corte ha sido muy oportuno. Ahí te ha gustado, ¿eh? Realiza el despeje. Solo 15 minutos para el final del tiempo reglamentario. Wesley Sneijder. Mbappé. Kylian Mbappé la lleva. Luis Díaz. Se asocia con Zico. Zico. Están armando una presión muy efectiva. Es riesgo. Está dando y queda nada para terminar.
En la repetición vemos lo difícil que ha sido marcar este gol. Ha podido definir casi sin espacio y lo ha hecho con mucha calidad. Esto está al alcance de muy poca gente.
Mateus Cunha. Pasa de líos. Final del partido. Gran actuación del equipo local. Que ha ganado. ¡Felicidades!
Pues ninguna pena, porque han picado piedra constantemente hoy hasta conseguir esa ventaja por la mínima.
Hello? Hi there, hello? Hi there, hello? Hello there, hi? Yeah, so welcome to the stream. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. If you've been with us, you know what we're doing right now. We're trying to cover post-match happenings in the round of 16 FIFA World Cup. We started doing this from the beginning of the World Cup in the group stage, the round of 32, to now the round of 16. We're just talking about what we've seen, what's going on, what to anticipate coming up as the World Cup continues and gets close to the end. And you're wondering, when is the end? Well, the final is on Monday, the 20th of July, according to FC Mobile here. But today, there were two very important matches from four very revered and highly anticipated performances. Brazil was not able to fend off Norway. Mexico were not able to defeat England in their home turf, on their home turf. Therefore, Norway advance and England advance, and they will play each other very soon. What do you think about that? If you're a Brazil fan, you're probably not wanting to even continue watching this World Cup anymore because you feel so let down, unless you are a true diehard fan of the sport, of the game. Good girl. You like the rose apple? Yummy, huh? Yeah. Okay. We're here with our lovely co-host. She's busy having her snack of the day. We're here discussing all things round of 16, all things World Cup 2026, all things FC Mobile, live right now on YouTube. This is the HELLARICHSF Gamer Universe. We hope you're having a wonderful day, evening, afternoon, morning, wherever that you are. We appreciate you for stopping by. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all things round 16, all things World Cup, all things FC Mobile, today, now, in 2026. So getting back to the game, if you just look at signings, you can see how many new players have been added into the realm that is FC Mobile up to now. From the beginning of when they introduced this star signings up until now, there are a total of 1,912 players. And yes, we will admit it's a bit overwhelming, but you might say, hey, the more the merrier. Okay. But for example, take this Cafu card. Would we love to have this Cafu card? Absolutely. What's the problem? Well, number one, we can't afford this Cafu card because we don't have 68,770 star signing shards. And we already have a Cafu card. Oh, really? Which one do you have? We have this Cafu card. So let's compare them. Okay. So if we compare these two Cafu cards, you see the one that used to be the previous GOAT Cafu card is now no longer, because this Cafu card would take that position of the GOAT Cafu card. Okay, we're gonna stand by. Sorry about that. So our lovely little co-host here was just, she's getting used to her voice, and wanted to express her discomfort eating her, or attempting to eat her rose apple in her high chair. And she really doesn't like her high chair too much. So she expressed her discomfort with her voice, which is stronger than what we would ever think. Hi, Tari Nudu. Tari, how do you say? Tarindu. Hello. He. Tarindu. He. Any such, right? Yeah, so this is the thing that people complain about this game, which we completely understand. It's just that, we're happy with what we have. But it's very similar. Like, we compare it to like sneaker collecting, and we used to do this in the past. Let's talk about Jordans, right? So Jordan brand would release one colorway of one shoe, and then another colorway of that same shoe. And you're like, well, I like both of those. I got to have them both. So if you had the money, it's fine. You had the space to keep them and all that. There's no problem. Oh, yeah, I have 3 pairs. I keep one to rock, one to stock, and one to just, whatever for extra. Okay. So if you consider it like that with these cards, so I'm sure there's a person who has every single Kafu card, right? But the thing is, the Kafu cards are always sought after because he's considered to be one of the best right backs in the game. Okay, stand by.